Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the slow start. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It's not financial advice. Trade your charts, not mine. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. All right. We have a crude oil inventory report at 10:30 this morning, so we'll run this session till about 10:15. I'll close down this stream and we'll open a new stream for the report. All right. Pound Aussie is in a short trade, a very small trade. Money management's way down here at 0112. Entry is at 0124. So our only fixed target is target 4. So we're going to split this one would have been split 3 on target, three positions of your normal three times your normal position size on target 4 and 2 on trail. There is a short or long setup on unleaded. That's a valid trade. Start time on that plan is 9 o'clock. So it is looking for actively looking for trades. Crude, no trades as yet. Started at 9 o'clock and very, very slow movement. Micro Russell is in a long that's gone too far, so we'll look for a new setup there. YM is also in a long that, for the moment at least, is getting sync and just hit money management, so it's no longer getting sync. Look for a new trade there. Soybeans pushing significantly higher this morning, but that has gone way too far to be able to get involved with. So we will look for a new trade there as well. Market is open. And wow, quick bounce down lower. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah. That was definitely too fast to deal with. So we will look for that to either come back to our entry or we will pass on it and go to the next one. Yeah, that bounced through. Actually, it was warned, but then bounced through for the actual setup, and so we're not in that. Oh, YM setting new session highs. Micro Russell stopping out that long trade, just went to the session open. YM picking up a short now and should be in that, came back to the entry. YM with money management and target, so that will be a power quitting today. And we are trailing 357, 356, yeah, 356, and now 351. Crude going down, the unleaded trade cancels. Soybeans trade is still possible get in sync. Pound Aussie starting to move up now a bit. 342 on the YM. 337. 333. And stopping out at 333. Yeah, 333. That will finish that trade and finish the session on the YM. Good morning, Josh. Good to see you this morning. All right, so YM is done. We'll put unleaded up there. Nice start to the YM this morning. Still have some time. Micro NQ all the way down looking for target 4. That was too early. Yep, it just stopped out, so we'll look for a new trade here. Micro Russell with no short trade. The trade would have set up above that cyan line. Here's a long trade on the Micro NQ. I think that just hit as a get in sync after I moved my line, so I would say that's probably in the trade. And now it definitely is in the trade. And money management and target 2 on micro. No, wait a minute. Micro NQ is still too early. We are not in this trade. Trade plan doesn't start until 4 minutes after the market open. Micro Russell does get in a long trade, however. Definitely in that trade with pullback. This will be money management. And actually, that's a break even. Actually, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it is a break even. We got back to the stop. So that's a break even on the Micro Russell long. Too fast on the Micro NQs. We're in our start after our start time now, so we can look for a trade. This one was too early. Soybeans hasn't triggered in yet. Coming very close to money management on the short. Micro Russell with a short trade. Short setup, actually, to be precise. And that is an entry in the trade. That is money management. And that's another break-even stop out. No, that's not the correct positioning of it. I'm looking strange about these shorts. And a long setup now on the Micro Russell. Touching it, I would probably push that up and then push it up a tick. And that's avoidable. Stopped out. Micro NQ, short trade, very positive. See if it. Yeah, definitely in it with the wick. Targets 2, 3, and 4. And trailing. Solid winner on trade number 1. Soybeans hits money management, so that trade is off the table. 2 break even so far on the Micro Russell. And a short on crude. It looks like it. Where's. Okay. Target's going to be 2 and 3. Money management is at target 2. Unleaded still with no trades. I'll have to look at that to see if we'd be in that or if we're getting sync on that crude trade. Short trade on the Micro Russell. Triggers in. That looks better. Down a tick for money management. It's going to be a 4. 2 break evens. And avoided trade on the long. Micro NQ stops out, sets up a long trade that is still valid at this point. As it hit the stop before hitting the entry. Money management on the Micro Russell trade. Stop move. And target 3. So we'll go on down to target 4 and target 4. So win here, trailing. I'll make that a 4-second chart. And now we have a new short trade on the micro Russell. Long did not trigger in. Definitely in the trade at this point. As we came back to the entry again. And money management. Target 2 is sitting right at the session low. Target 4 on micro Russell, stop and reverse at the full stop out on pound Aussie, and it just did reverse. Target 1 is 14. Money management is 0149. Yeah, target 1 is 51. 37. Yeah, 49.8 remains our money management level. So target 1 is valid. And we are long there. And we are having stop out of the micro Russell and pick up a long. I didn't see that one for timing. I will assume that we're in this one. And definitely in it now. And we 4-8. Now, crude trade was too fast to get in. So close that out. And we'll go back to our regular chart. So it's a get in sync at this point. And we take a full stop out on micro NQ. I would say that the long trade, it was avoidable. Didn't have a chance to put the order in on that, I'm sure. Wow, that one was definitely too fast to deal with. That goes past money management, so we are not going to participate in that trade at all. So we have a win and a loss and 2 no trades. Okay, the long trade got money management. That's a break even, 4th break even, 3rd break even, and that's, yeah, 3 break evens, I believe. And they win. Now we're in the short trade. Too bad this micro NQ trade was that fast. That would have been a nice trade to be in. Hitting target 2, almost target 3. Yeah, there's target 3. Trailer coming down. In the short trade on the micro Russell. Money management. This is the final trade. Break even stop. Looking for target 3 below the session low. And we did trigger short on crude. Wow. No, each trade is its own entity. The stop and reverse is just a way to exit. So it exits the first trade and enters a second trade. No, I'm definitely not trading 6 plans simultaneously. These are just for example. I typically don't trade more than 2 at a time. Once in a great while, it'll be 3. Sorry to not be looking at comments much, but it's been an active session. And a 5th break even, so one win and 5 break evens on Micro Russell. That ends the session at 6 trade maximum. Just 2 trades in the books on the Micro NQ. Solid win and a loss. Definitely going to be still positive on that. Crude is in the short trade. Unleaded is still flat. Soybeans is flat. Pound Aussie is long. I'm not unleaded. Micro NQ in a long trade. And that takes a second loss. Now we're going to be, because of the strength of that first trade, we're going to be pretty close to break even. There's a new short. That was awfully quick. But it just came back to the entry, so we're definitely in. Markets started off looking like they might go up, but now they're definitely trending down. Unfortunately, Micro Russell picks up a target there after stopping out at break even. The only 2 strategies I've got Renko bars on these examples are the Micro Russell in the top left and the Micro NQ in the bottom center. Those are both on Catapult Trader. Running range bars on everything else. Crude is running Spotlight Power Trader, range bar, 8-tick range. Unleaded is running a 20-tick range on Spotlight. Pound Aussie is running an 8-pip range on Spotlight. And soybeans is running a 5-tick range bar or momentum bar for TradeStation. So it'd be 1 1/4 points. And that's on Counterpunch. YM was also on Spotlight. That was a 14-tick range bar. All right, we went long, and this is not looking good. Third loss would end the session. But it comes back up. Heads for money management. See if we can get through the 50 EMA. 1 tick for money management. There's money management. So break even at a minimum on this 4th trade. And that's where it is a break even on trade number 4. Short trade for possible trade number 5, not triggered in yet. There's entry. So trade number 5 is a short. And trade number 5 is their third loss. And so that ends the micro NQ session. Micro NQ session is definitely going to be a down session. Had a really strong initial trade, and then got into chop for 3 losses. We'll take its negative. So we'll put unleaded back in its place. YM set a new session low and then bounced higher, right pushing up toward session open. Micro Russell rather is doing the same thing. Both of those charts are done. It's full stop out on crude. Now a long trade. Uh-oh. I'm lagging again. The chart data is lagging by, it looks like, almost 2 minutes right now. Getting close to it. Yep, we got entered the long trade on crude. That entry was 10 minutes before our 10 a.m. or before our end time at 10 a.m. So we will do this, go with this trade. Soybeans not doing much on the March, now on the March contract. Unleaded also on the March contract. Crude looking close, but it's not quite to the March contract yet. Still 84,000 to 66.5. Probably will transition tomorrow would be my guess. Since third Friday is I believe the expiration for the contract. Oh, it's not any quicker to drill down on range bars than it is on Renko. Renko is just a different type of range bar. I drill down Renko bars the same way you saw me drill down on crude. Check it out. I just mark up the trade, mark the time, duplicate the chart, make it a 2 or 4 second. I like 4 seconds. I don't need to look at 2, as I'm looking for an 8-second entry window. Or actually, being at the entry more beyond the first 8 seconds. So drilling down on either one of those is exactly the same. Still long on crude. Nothing on soybeans yet. Long trade on pound Aussie's taking some heat. And nothing new on unleaded yet. Unleaded at new session highs. Crude back up in the 60s. Well, now, yeah. See what I when I open up once I mark up the trade, I'll just on Ninja. What I do is duplicate the chart and then change the duplicate to a 4-second chart. So that way, I've got the entry and stop and money management marked up, as well as I'll put a vertical line on the entry time or the setup time once before I change it to 4 seconds. And then I'm looking at a 4-second chart, so I'm looking for 2 bars beyond the setup time, and I need the entry to. So yes, it will be in another. It'll be maybe in the same workspace, but you'll set up a new chart window quickly, and then you'll close that when you're done. And another possible stop and reverse on on the pound Aussie. Entry plotted at 122, so that will go to 119. Two tick adjustment for stop and reverse puts it at 120. That key levels to 119. So for the moment, we're still in the long trade, even unadjusted on the pound Aussie. Micro Russell and Micro NQ are both done. August would be, on back testing, I would essentially start testing on the 18th and end testing on the 17th. So yeah, you'd go June 18th to July 17th, and then the September contract would start on July 18th, assuming that's not a weekend, obviously, for testing purposes, just for consistency on. That's a good approximation of when things roll. The rollover is going to be a couple of days earlier than usual this week, this month, because of when the third Friday falls. But the last trading day typically for the contract is the third Thursday before the Thursday before the third Friday. Rather than having to look at a calendar every time when you're back testing, 17th, stop on the 17th, start on the 18th is a good rule of thumb. Pound Aussie back up to the entry. 2 closes above the balance line, so that cancels the short. So we are still in our long. The stop and reverse on the long was only 1 tick or 1 pip rather, because the long entry and the short stop were only 1 pip apart rather than 2. That's why the adjustment was only 1 pip rather than 2 pips. Because you don't need to go further than the stop to protect the trade you're in. And we are beyond 10 o'clock. So this is definitely our final crude trade. Uh, it's yeah. As far as the dates are concerned, yes, that's crude. Other contracts, you got to look at when the contracts close and kind of and also kind of look at volume to get an idea of when they'll typically roll. Because the micro gold is a 2 month contract, soybeans is a 2 month contract. In most cases, it actually does skip one, so you end up with a 4 month. Once in a while, gold will skip one just because the volume doesn't transition. Interesting that we have no trades on unleaded this morning. Crude moving pretty slowly. We have a full loss on the short, and then we have a long that is definitely taking serious heat. Soybeans looking for its first trade. Unleaded with a short trade. I would call that a get in sync at this point. That was a little too fast to catch. See if it comes back down and gives us a chance to get in. And we take a second full stop on crude. Down, definitely a losing session this morning on crude. 2 full stop outs. That ends the 10 a.m. mini session, or then the 9 a.m. mini session. No 10 a.m. mini session because of the inventory report today at 10:30. This would be a possible green trade on soybeans if this bar closes up above that very light blue dashed line, lower right corner. Now, Russell, Russell, and NQ are all 3 month quarterly contracts. Those we usually use the 12th of the month of the expiration as the roll point. So trade through the 11th, start the new contract on the 12th. Unleaded is usually pretty close to crude. Seems to roll a little bit earlier on the volume. It's a monthly contract. All right, unleaded hitting money management brings our stop to break even. Soybeans for the long trade I was expecting. And we did trigger into that. Target one right in amongst the moving averages there, the 20 crossing the 200 on this that setup bar. And unleaded hitting target two. So one and done session for unleaded. It just took an hour. Crude pushing down hard. Not surprised that we got getting some down movement. We're up significantly from where we were last week. And stopping out at 86.31 on unleaded, that ends the unleaded session. One and done. Target two and trailing 3/4 of the way or so to target one. 70 pit ticks to target two, 45 to target one. So either way you trade it, that is a one and done. There is long on crude, but we are out of our 9 a.m. mini session. That closes at 10 o'clock. All right, looks like we did get a stop and reverse on the pound Aussie ultimately. So that's going to be 139. Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. 124. 3-tick adjustment means that money management is going to adjust 3 ticks as well. So we are actually going to still be in this trade, full risk on. Money management will go down to 112. Yep, which is right there. So our first actionable target is going to be target 3. So I'd say two positions at 3, 2 at 4, and 1 trail. And we'll have to track this manually because the calculator thinks it hit money management and then came back up to the stop. Since we haven't hit money management because of the stop and reverse adjustment, we still have the full risk on and coming close to money management now. Yeah, there's money management. So the stop will come to, I said 24, the stop will come to 23. Yeah, okay. And target at 109. All right. Data is just about caught up. 15 seconds behind at this point. But I am going to have to call it a morning at this point. On this session, I will close this one down, start a new session up in about 10 minutes for a crude oil inventory report. So I hope to see everybody back in about 10 minutes. Everybody have a good one. Fruit, soybeans still in the long, just right at the entry there. Pound Aussie still in the short, just missed target 3. Got as low and got within a pip, less than a pip, nine ticks away. So we will leave those there and see you for the inventory session.